I'm genuinely not sure how to do this one because I found a lot to like in the original Netflix Daredevil series, and there's so much enthusiasm for Daredevil Reborn right now, and I can understand that in part. It's nice to see the old gang back together, and in some ways, I wish I was as enthusiastic as everyone else seems to be, feeling how a lot of you seem to be at the moment. The problem is, I'm just not. Because I found it to be much more of a mixed bag than the people really loving it. Don't get me wrong, there was good in there for me, but there was some significant cloud with the silver lining. On the plus side, the actors have not got any worse. Charlie Cox has maybe lost some hair, it happens to us all, and they even have some new characters played by actors I quite like. On the upside, they're introducing the character played by Clark Johnson, who I liked in Homicide: Life on the Street. The Cloud, he doesn't get much to do. He gets maybe a few scenes and he barely gets out of neutral in them. On the plus side, they have added Margarita Levieva to the cast, who I liked in the series The Blacklist. And she, oddly, may have been my favourite part of this episode. Her and Charlie Cox have an instant pretty good chemistry. They do a good job of selling a romance in almost no time. And that's the Cloud for me. Time. The series has moved from the 13 episode series at Netflix to 9 at Disney, and episode 1 felt like they reshaped the entire world of Daredevil in half an episode. Some scenes felt a bit slow, and others felt like I was trying to read the text on a page stuck to the side of a passing sports car. During the prologue, they just drop in 2 entirely new characters with almost no introduction. It didn't feel organic, and I was left thinking, who the hell are these people? That was mixed in with Deborah Ann Voll and Charlie Cox doing a scene where they just had fantastic chemistry together. On the plus side, we have all these returning characters and actors built up carefully over time. The Cloud, the new characters' relationships with the existing cast are developed almost entirely off camera in this show. After the prologue, which I mostly found to be good, The Cloud, they do a title screen and a year passes off screen. In this 1 year, Daredevil retires from being a vigilante, starts a new law firm with a new partner. Clark Johnson is playing a retired cop, I think, working as an investigator for the new law firm. So Daredevil is now working with 2 new people who both just got parachuted into the show, and the audience got to see none of it. They're all just firm friends now, and it all happened off camera. On the plus side, they got the gang back together. The Cloud is, the show broke them apart again almost instantly, and it felt like someone gave me an ice cream for me to have one lick, and then they slapped it out of my hand again. I hope no one was a fan of Foggy Nelson or Karen Page, because contrary to the trailer, they got almost no screen time in episode 1. What they showed in the trailer, that's close to it. Plus side, Disney seemed to have got the message on the fight sequences. There's one in episode 1 and in some ways captured the magic of the fights from the Netflix series. It was very brutal, there were minimal cuts, it was well performed with nice choreography. The Cloud, some of the CGI looked extremely unrealistic to me. There was a part with Daredevil jumping and it made me look worse than the CGI in She-Hulk. In places the cinematography and shot composition is nice. Sometimes they go a bit weird, like having Kingpin eat an omelette upside down, for reasons known only to them. I think the show in truth may be a bit too highly rated at the moment on IMDb. It was rated higher than the film Unforgiven, also North by Northwest, Akira, The Sting. Some of these are Oscar winners from a time when winning an Oscar actually meant something. So just steady on with rating this show. They're all classic films. Just step back for a moment and think, is this episode of Daredevil really higher in quality than the movie Gladiator? Same for Reacher. I like it, but I can't really rate it above the movie Aliens. Daredevil's rating on IMDb is dropping a bit over time, and that's to be expected, as the most enthusiastic fans tend to watch and review the show first, the people who are primed to love it already and rate it as being perfect, and a lot of people are rating this show as being perfect. Then the more casual people come in, and on the strength of this episode, I'd maybe have it a little less than the rating for Netflix Daredevil. But in a world in which the Clint Eastwood western Unforgiven is an 8.2 out of 10, I don't think I could in good conscience put either the Daredevil Netflix series or this one above that in quality. On the plus side, Vincent D'Onofrio is back as the Kingpin. He's still great. The Cloud, I think Disney hates Vincent D'Onofrio. During a conversation with Charlie Cox in this episode, they referenced the series Echo, and for God's sake Disney, please keep Echo out of this.
Eye to eye.
Maybe just never mention it again. They don't even address how Kingpin somehow survived the point-blank projectile meeting his face courtesy of Echo. And did I dream it? Or did they just have the Kingpin's beloved wife Vanessa cheating on him in this episode? She's also now running his criminal organisation, and he's sat in a chair in the corner watching. It's Daredevil that's supposed to be wearing the horns, not the Kingpin. I'm also very worried where they're going with all of this, because the Kingpin is running for Mayor of New York in this episode, and my concern was that this is going to be some ham-fisted Donald reference, and then the show had his potential supporters file in wearing a coloured baseball cap with a slogan on it. Granted, it was a blue hat, not red, and it had "Fisk will fix it" written on it, but they had him standing as some sort of pro-law and order populist with a criminal past. This is kind of what I thought they were going to do when I watched the trailer, hence this thumbnail I made at the time of the trailer with an orange Kingpin with weird hair on it. It's starting to look already like this is exactly what they're going to do with the character, and I really hope not. Can you maybe just at least muddy the subtext up a bit more than this? Art tends to benefit from being a little more opaque and open to interpretation. Think Deckard, the character in Blade Runner, and the question that ran for years of, is he a replicant or not? Nice and opaque. Compare that to Kevin Sorbo in the series Supergirl, playing a cartoon alien villain, declaring his intention to make the planet Daxam great again. So, is Daredevil Born Again worth watching? On the whole, I'd say yes, but they've been working on this series allegedly since 2022, and I wasn't expecting this amount of flaws in it.